what you're doing is destroying you. And no, you don't know it. You think it's normal, that it's part of life, that it has no consequences. You've been told that it's natural, that it doesn't matter. But every time you do it, every time you fall into that impulse, you're sinking a little more into mediocrity. And the worst part is that you don't even realize it. Look around you. Observe the men you admire, the ones who are successful, the ones who have conquered the world. Do you think they waste their energy on that? Do you think their minds are trapped in that vicious cycle of fleeting and empty pleasure? Number. Because they've understood something you haven't yet. The energy you waste is the same energy you could be using to build, to create, to transform your life. Arthur Schopenhauer knew it. He understood that desire is a trap, a force that dominates you and drags you into misery if you don't learn to control it. And masturbation is its purest expression. It's the symptom of a mind that has no control over itself, of a man who has surrendered to his lowest impulses. Does it sound exaggerated? Let me explain to you why it's not. Every time you do it, you're training your brain to settle for instant gratification. You're programming your mind to avoid effort, to dodge challenges, to always choose the easiest path. And when life tests you, when you face difficulties, when you have to fight for what you truly want, what do you think will happen? Exactly. You'll give up. You'll look for the easy way out. You'll become a slave to your own impulses. And that's exactly what the world wants from you. Because a man who has no control over himself is a weak man. He is a predictable man, manipulable, a man who can't direct his own life because he's too busy chasing cheap pleasure. And here's the brutal truth. The world is designed to keep you in that state. You've been taught to think that it's normal, that it has no consequences, that everyone does it. But they haven't told you what you lose every time you do it. They haven't told you about the energy you could be channeling into something big. They haven't told you that every time you give in to that impulse, you're becoming weaker. Schopenhauer explained it with terrifying clarity. Desire is the source of suffering, and as long as you remain its slave, you will never be free. Because real freedom is not doing what you want in the moment, but having absolute control over yourself. And if you can't even control that basic impulse, what hope do you have of controlling the rest of your life? Look at history. Look at the great men who have left their mark. They weren't slaves to their own bodies. They didn't waste their energy on empty pleasure. They channeled that force into their work, into their purpose, into something greater than themselves. And that's what sets you apart from them. It's not luck. It's not talent. It's not fate. It's discipline. It's self-mastery. It's the ability to say no to what weakens you and yes to what strengthens you. But of course, you're still trapped in the lie. You keep telling yourself that it doesn't matter, that there are no consequences, that you can keep doing it without affecting your life. And you stay in the same place, not advancing, not growing, not changing. Because every time you do it, you're reinforcing a habit that pulls you further away from what you could be. Do you want the truth? You're programming your mind to be weak, to settle, to accept a mediocre life. You're wasting the most powerful energy you have, and all for a few seconds of useless pleasure. Is it worth it? Think about what you could be doing with that force. Think about what you could build if you channeled that energy into something that really matters. Think about what you could achieve if you stopped giving in to every impulse that pops into your mind. The question is, are you going to keep doing the same thing? Or are you going to take control once and for all? Because the truth is this: those who rule the world are not the ones who follow their impulses. They are the ones who dominate them, those who refuse to be slaves to their own bodies. those who understand that true power lies in self-control. Schopenhauer made it clear: man is essentially will. And if you have no control over your will, you have no control over anything. So choose. Stay in the same spiral of mediocrity, or take control of your life. But if you decide to keep going, remember this: every time you do it, you'll be choosing to be weak. And no one remembers the weak. No one respects the weak. No one follows the weak. You decide. But one thing is certain. After hearing this, you'll never see masturbation the same way again. And if you still do it, at least now you know what you're really losing. The question is, how much longer are you going to take to wake up? But here comes the really terrifying part. It's not just that you're wasting your energy on something empty, it's that you're programming your brain for self-destruction. Every time you do it, every time you give in to the impulse, you're reinforcing a neurological pattern that makes you weaker, more anxious, more dependent. And here's the detail that no one tells you. Masturbation is not just a physical act, it's a mental reprogramming. Think about this. Every time you fall into that habit, you're training your brain to need immediate rewards. And if you get used to getting pleasure without effort, how do you think you'll face real life? Life is full of difficulties, uncomfortable moments, challenges that require patience and resilience. But you, every time you give in to that instant gratification, are conditioning yourself to avoid effort, to escape discomfort, to always look for the easiest way out. And that makes you weak. That makes you a man without willpower. And if you think this is just a philosophical issue, think again. Science supports it. Every time you do it, your brain releases dopamine, the same substance activated by drugs. And the more you do it, the more insensitive you become to it. You need more stimulation, more intensity, more distortion to get the same pleasure. And suddenly, what used to be enough is no longer enough. You become an addict without realizing it. An addict to instant pleasure, an addict to easy gratification. And the worst part is that, just like with any other addiction, tolerance goes up and satisfaction goes down. And that's how you end up trapped in an endless cycle, feeling more and more empty, more and more unsatisfied. Now tell me, when was the last time you felt truly motivated? When was the last time you woke up with energy, with the desire to take on the world, with the feeling that you could achieve anything? If you can't remember, it's not a coincidence, it's a consequence. Because every time you give in to masturbation, you're draining that energy. And here's the most terrifying part. It's not just physical energy you're losing. It's your mental energy, your confidence, your determination. Look at the great men of history, the leaders, the conquerors, the geniuses. Do you think they allowed themselves to be consumed by their lowest impulses? Do you think they wasted their time on empty pleasures? Number, because they understood something you haven't yet. Self-control is the key to power. The man who can master his impulses is the man who can master the world. And if you can't even control what you do with your own vital energy, how do you expect to control anything else in your life? But here's the trap most fall into. They convince themselves they can stop at any time. They tell themselves it's no big deal, that they can stop whenever they want. And yet, they keep repeating the same cycle over and over. Because the problem is not just physical, it's psychological. It's not just an act, it's a mentality. And until you change that mentality, until you take control once and for all, you'll remain a slave to your own desires. Have you noticed that after doing it, you feel empty? It's not just guilt. It's a reminder that you lost something, that you let go of a part of your strength, your determination, your potential. It's your own biology screaming at you that you're sabotaging yourself, that you're choosing the easy way instead of the way that will truly make you grow. And here comes the worst part. The world wants you to stay like this. It wants you to be weak, to be docile, to keep looking for instant gratification instead of building something real. Because a weak man is a man who doesn't pose a threat, an easy man to manipulate, easy to distract, easy to control. And masturbation is just one of the many tools used to keep you like this. Ask yourself, how much could you achieve if you channeled all that energy into something that really mattered? How many things could you build if, instead of seeking fleeting pleasure, you sought growth, discipline, control? Because here's the truth. Every time you say no to that impulse, you're training your willpower, you're strengthening your mind, you're building the most powerful version of yourself. And that's what really scares them. Not the fact that you do it, but the fact that you could be someone completely different if you just stopped doing it. That you could be stronger, more confident, more focused. That you could reclaim that spark you felt when you were a child, when you didn't need artificial dopamine to feel alive, when your energy was intact, ready to be used for something that truly mattered. So, the question is, are you going to keep falling into the same trap over and over, or are you going to wake up once and for all and take control? Because the truth is this: life doesn't wait for those who waste their energy, and every day you keep doing the same thing is another day you could have changed your destiny. The choice is yours. But remember this: what you do with your energy will define who you are and who you will become. And if you keep choosing the easy way, don't be surprised when life treats you like someone irrelevant, because the world belongs to those who have control. And as long as you keep giving in, you'll remain a spectator instead of a protagonist. Now tell me, are you going to keep wasting your life? Or are you going to take control once and for all? But there's something even deeper that you haven't considered. It's not just about the energy you lose, nor the addiction you create in your own brain. It's about what it symbolizes. Every time you do it, every time you give in to the impulse, you're sending a silent message to your subconscious. I'm not strong enough. Because this is not just a habit. It's a reflection of your mentality. It's a reflection of how you face life. And here's the most serious problem. Masturbation is not the only place where you give in. You give in many other areas. When you want to wake up early, but you don't. When you say you're going to start a project, but you postpone it. When you know you should work out, but you decide to stay in bed. It's the same pattern, repeated in different forms. Your entire life is defined by what you do when no one is watching. That's where your character, your determination, your ability to face the world is built. And if, in the most basic, primal moment, you can't control yourself, how do you expect to have discipline in something else? Think about this. If you can't say no to a desire that lasts a few minutes, how are you going to say yes to the things that really matter, that require effort, sacrifice, and dedication? Because the brutal truth is this: life does not reward those who choose the easy way. It rewards those who impose the difficult way on themselves. And every time you choose the comfortable exit, you move further away from the version of yourself you could really be. But here's the worst part. This weakness doesn't just affect your own mind. It affects how others see you. People can perceive it, even if they don't say it. They can notice when a man has control over himself and when he doesn't. They can notice when a man projects confidence, mastery, a strong presence. And they can notice when a man feels empty, when he's drained, when he has no direction or purpose. The difference is brutal. You don't need to speak for others to see it. It reflects in your posture, your gaze, the way you walk, the way you face problems. The man who has self-control is the one who commands respect without saying a word. He is the one who doesn't need validation, because he already validates himself with his actions. He is the one who doesn't beg for attention, because his energy and presence make others gravitate toward him without even trying. But here's the problem. Most will never know that version of themselves, because they prefer comfort over growth, because they prefer cheap pleasure over real satisfaction, because they prefer to live with the excuse that it's not a big deal instead of facing the fact that they're wasting their potential. And meanwhile, those who do understand this are moving forward. While you waste your time, there are others building their empire. While you choose instant gratification, there are others choosing the difficult path, the one that truly leads to something great. While you consume yourself in fleeting pleasure, there are others creating, mastering, controlling their own destiny. That's the difference between those who make history and those who are forgotten. It's not luck, it's not innate talent. It's the ability to resist the most basic impulses. It's the ability to transform energy into something greater than oneself. It's the ability to not be a victim of desires, but the master of them. Have you ever wondered why the most powerful historical figures had strict control over themselves? Why philosophers, warriors, emperors, geniuses believed in the importance of self-control? It's no coincidence. It's because they knew that true power comes from the ability to direct one's own energy. Alexander the Great, Napoleon, Da Vinci, Tesla, none of them allowed themselves to be slaves to their own bodies. They were aware that every drop of wasted energy was a lost opportunity. And here you are, giving away your potential without even thinking about it. But it's not just about history. It's about now, about your life, about what you're doing right now. Because every second you spend in that cycle of instant gratification is a second you'll never get back. Every day you keep giving in is a day you could have used to get closer to the life you truly want. Here's the question that changes everything. If you keep exactly as you are now, if you keep the same pattern, where will you be in 5 years? In 10? Will you be proud of the person you've become? Or will you realize too late all that you lost for not having the discipline to change in time? Because time keeps moving forward, and the longer you delay, the harder it will be to get out. But here's the good news. You can change now. You can take control right this moment. You can decide that your energy will no longer be wasted, that every drop of willpower you have will be used to build, to grow, to become the most powerful version of yourself. But no one will do it for you. No one will come to save you. No one will give you permission to change. You have to take it. You have to get up and decide that you will no longer be a spectator of your own life. Because in the end, the choice is simple. Either you remain a slave to your impulses, or you become the master of your own destiny. But remember this: those who give in disappear. Those who control dominate. Which side will you be on? Because in the end, the choice is simple. Either you remain a slave to your impulses, or you become the master of your own destiny. But remember this: those who give in disappear. Those who control dominate. Which side will you be on? It's not just that you're losing energy. It's not just that you're weakening your discipline. It's not just that you're conditioning your brain to instant gratification. It's something deeper, more sinister, something they've never told you. Every time you give in, every time you choose that fleeting pleasure, you're reinforcing a mindset of defeat. Yes, defeat. You don't see it that way because you've been trained to believe it's something natural, that it has no consequences. But every time you do it, deep down, You know you could have done something else. You know you could have used that time for something productive. You know you could have directed that energy toward a real goal. And yet, you chose the opposite. And that small moment, that harmless act, becomes a mark on your subconscious. It becomes a silent message telling you, I'm not strong enough. And this message doesn't stay just in this area of your life. It extends. It filters into everything you do. Because self-control isn't something you can apply in one area and not the others. It works like a muscle. If you're weak in one thing, you'll be weak in others. If you give in here, you'll give in there. If you get used to giving up in the most basic things, you'll end up giving up when it truly matters. And here's the scary part. The world has already planned this for you. Because a man without control is an easy man to handle. A man who can't control his desires is a man who will buy whatever they sell him, follow any impulse placed in front of him, let himself be manipulated by every new distraction. Haven't you realized what's going on? Everything around you is designed to keep you in that state. Advertising, social media, cheap content, empty entertainment, stimuli everywhere. It's all built with one purpose: to make sure you never develop control over yourself. Because the moment you do, the moment you take control, the moment you say no more, you'll become dangerous. Dangerous to a system that needs you to be a passive consumer. Dangerous to a society that prefers men to be weak, distracted, docile. Dangerous to those who benefit from your inaction, from your procrastination, from your dependency on everything that weakens you. Ask yourself, how many men around you are really alive? How many are building something great? How many are moving with purpose, with ambition, with energy that makes the world notice them? And now, how many are trapped in the routine, in complacency, in constant distraction? How many are wasting their lives in senseless cycles of empty pleasure and apathy? You decide which side you want to be on. But here's the brutal truth. You can't be on both sides. You can't have a powerful mind if you keep reinforcing weak habits. You can't build discipline if you keep giving in to the most basic things. You can't be a man of respect if you can't even respect yourself enough to control your own impulses. Respect is not demanded, it's projected. And the difference between a man who commands respect without saying a word and one who is ignored by the world is simple. Discipline, self-mastery, willpower, the ability to resist the easy path and choose the hard one. Because here's the irony of it all. The instant pleasure you seek doesn't make you happier, it makes you more miserable, it empties you. It leaves you with less energy, less motivation, less self-esteem. And yet you keep doing it. You keep falling into the same trap over and over. But there's another way. There's another option. You can change. You can decide that you will no longer be a slave to this cycle. You can start reclaiming your energy, your focus, your self-respect. You can start living for real. And when you do, when you start taking control, you'll notice something incredible. The world will treat you differently. People will see you in a new way. Life itself will start responding to you in a way you've never experienced before. Because people can feel the difference between someone who is in control and someone who is not. Do you realize how powerful that is? You don't need to say anything. You don't need to brag. You just need to show it with your actions, with your presence, with the way you face life. So tell me, are you going to keep being a spectator of your own existence? Are you going to keep choosing the easy path, the one that leads to mediocrity, the one that keeps you weak? Or are you going to make the decision that few have the courage to make? Because here's the truth no one wants to accept. There are only two types of men in this world. Those who dominate themselves, and those who are dominated by everything else. Here comes the most important part. the last piece of the puzzle. The final truth no one has told you. And if you truly understand it, it will change your life forever. It's not just about quitting masturbation. It's not just about gaining discipline. It's not just about reclaiming your energy. It's about something much bigger. Becoming the man you were destined to be. Because listen closely. No one is going to come and save you. No one is going to knock on your door one day and say, "Here's the solution to your life." It's not going to happen. No one is going to rescue you from your mediocrity. It's up to you. Only you. The problem is not just the habit you've been reinforcing. It's the fact that every day you stay in this cycle, you're moving further away from the life you could be living. You're wasting time, talent, potential. And time doesn't stop for anyone. Every second you spend on the easy path is a second you could have used to build something that truly matters. A business, a strong body, an indestructible mind, a life worth living. But here you are, stuck in the same pattern, while the world moves on without you. And if you keep going like this, one day you'll wake up and realize it's too late, that you let opportunities slip by, that you became an average man when you could have been extraordinary. And the worst part is that you'll know, but you won't be able to do anything about it. Regret is the worst punishment. And believe me, if you don't change, you'll feel it. Because when you grow old and look back, you'll realize that the only person who got in your way was you. But you're still in time. You can still get out of this vicious circle. You can still decide that from today, you become a man who has control over himself. I'm not going to tell you it will be easy, because it won't be. But the truth is this. The hard path is the only one worth walking. The men who dominate the world didn't get there because they did what was comfortable. They got there because they did what others weren't willing to do. And now you have a decision to make. You can ignore everything I just told you. You can close this video and stay exactly the same. And if you do, no one will stop you. No one will judge you. But deep inside, you'll know you kept choosing the path of the weak. Or you can do something different. You can start today. You can take the first action that puts you on the path of control and discipline. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now, because the man you'll be in the future depends on what you do right now. And if you've made it this far, I want you to prove it. I want you to leave a comment with this phrase. Today, I reclaim my power. Because if you write it, you're making a commitment to yourself. You're declaring that you're no longer a slave to your impulses, and that you're starting to become the man you truly can be. And if you want more content that pushes you to be the best version of yourself, subscribe. Because this is not just a video. It's the beginning of your transformation.